So welcome everybody. This is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community call with Microsoft speakers. This is happening every single Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, which is 5 p.m. in Central Europe time, and whatever time zone you are actually located on, a bit of a different time, of course. That's 4 p.m. GMT and all of that stuff. My name is Juvonen. I'm a principal product manager in Microsoft 365 platform areas. Today we do have cool demos queued up as well. So let's go through the agenda. Unfortunately, we do have another change in the agenda. In the Northern Hemisphere, it is the flu season. And unfortunately, Seb needs to take care of his kit today. So he could not actually take the What's New on the Microsoft Graph Toolkit V4. And that has been rescheduled or will be rescheduled in the early January timeframe or potentially for next week. We haven't actually yet get that one locked, but family and health always first. So we do absolutely give that opportunity for Seb as well. Now we're going to start with the latest updates and news from Microsoft, and like typically, and then we're going to go through the latest news and events and all of that stuff. We'll have a group picture together with everybody in the call. I can see the group photo, together mode working, which is great. And then we go to the actual stars of the day. So today we'll start with Shawn Henry, who's going to talk about the introduction of WhatsApp support in Azure Communication Services. And he will be followed by Alex and me talking about the introduction on POT framework powered Viva Connection ACEs. That's something which is rolling out to a public preview before going GA early next year quite soon. And as said, Sebastian Levert could not unfortunately take his Microsoft Graph Toolkit V4 update. We will reschedule that one later time. Now, before we actually go to the demos and the news and all of that stuff, we're going to recap all of the different assets which are available for you to get started within the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform areas. So quickly, we have our YouTube channel, aka.ms community videos, from where you can find all of the different community call recordings, individual videos, and all of that stuff. We do release at least one video in every single business day within the channel. So you want to subscribe there and stay up to date on what's happening and what's possible within Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. We also have our LinkedIn group for discussions and updates. We have our open source assets in multiple GitHub organizations, but as it might be a bit difficult to find the relevant sample for you, we have our sample galleries, which is by far the easiest way to find the relevant sample for you. It doesn't really matter what you're looking for. There's most likely a sample available for you to learn from. So as you're starting to build your solution and experiences, go to the sample gallery, have a look on if has somebody built something similar, and then get ideas and innovation from those samples. It's a one sample gallery for all Microsoft and community samples, so making it super easy for everybody to find what's out there within the GitHub. And of course, there's a lot of URLs to remember. Luckily, it's only one, which is aka.ms/community/home. Now, you definitely know that we have community calls because you are in one of these community calls, and this is the Tuesday 8 a.m. Pacific community call, which still happens next week, but then we'll have 2 weeks break within the holiday season. We'll probably drop by and just to show you, hey, we are on a holiday break screen, so we will not have any demos or discussions within this call during the holiday season. That's 2 weeks break after next week. So next Tuesday, we still have a call, but then the holiday season is actually starting. On top of that, we have the Power Platform and Office Admins monthly community calls. Power Platform community call happening in December, right, David? Confirming, right, David?
Yes.
David?
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Affirmative. No breaks over there. Affirmative. Thank you. And then we have our 7 a.m. Thursday series, which is happening without any holiday breaks. And this is something what we're super proud of. I don't know when we had a last time break, but every single Thursday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, it's either Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community call or Viva Connections SharePoint Framework community call. Quite often, it's the same people doing demos or the same people participating on those calls, seeing each other, staying up to date. And during the holiday season, we kind of have more a coffee and discussion kind of a style calls. So we're not scheduling any actual demos for those for those calls, but we are there for discussions, sharing maybe the gifts what we were getting, or having a random Q&A on any topics what comes to your mind. You can download recurrent invites from aka.ms community calls, and you can always get the latest agendas from the social media and from the meetup. And the meetup, we have more than 1,600 people already signed up. It's a great way of getting the agendas within your inbox every single week as we get them updated as well. really, really great service. Now, for a lot of those community calls, we do welcome community demos, and this is a great opportunity for you to get some visibility. If you're looking into getting an MVP status or renew your MVP status, these are great opportunities of getting exposure and practice your presentation skills. So easiest way to get a demo slot is just simply go to the aka.ms community request demo form, fill in the form. We will get you then scheduled on the right call what is suitable based on the title and suggested demo. If you're wondering on, well, I'm not super comfortable, I would need some help, we got you covered. We actually can help you on prepping on those calls. We have a buddy system, we have other systems available for you to give you support on getting ready to present within the calls. We really want to have that opportunity for everybody to share what they learn, or what if they build something. It doesn't have to be open source, and they can actually share their solution within the call. We do not, however, welcome product demos or marketing events related on individual companies. So it has to be something related on what you built or what you learn and to share with others. Now, we do provide you Microsoft 365 through Microsoft 365 developer program. You will get a free E5 developer tenant, and that will automatically renew in every single 90 days as long as you use it for developer purposes. On top of that, there's a lot of free learning materials available for Microsoft 365 and Power Platform from the Microsoft Learn. I should probably double check the numbers of those modules because they're way bigger than 91 and 100. So we're getting a lot of new content available all the time. On the podcast and video show site, there's quite a few of them available. Some of them are happening on a weekly basis, like the PMP Weekly with me and Waldek, and some of them more infrequently, for example, bi-weekly with Caruana and Heather around the Microsoft community, which is a live show happening in LinkedIn. All of those URLs, you can double check the details. Some of them are, as said, podcasts. Some of them are live streaming LinkedIn or social media. Some of them are video blogs in a YouTube. So have a look on what's available and based on your interest. I did recover already or mention already the sample gallery. As said, aka.ms/community samples. It's a great location to find relevant samples for you to take advantage. That number is not up to date. We are closing in 1,800 samples pretty soon. I don't think we have broken 1,800 samples yet, but a lot of samples for you to take advantage on whatever you are building within Microsoft 365, Microsoft Cloud, that you'll find samples definitely available from this location. Thank you, David, for updating the slide live. That was really cool. Now, as you then find the sample, you might be wondering, okay, so this is a sample, this is in GitHub. What do I do now? How do I get started? Oh my God, I volunteered for a demo. Please help me. And luckily, we have David, Warner, and friends with the Sharing is Caring initiative helping you to get started. David, can you explain what is that all about?
Yes, absolutely. It is like Copilot. You just say, hey, I need help, and bam, it happens. What we're going to do is we're going to provide.
We're going to have to do a beep on that one. Sorry.
Yes, just kidding, everybody. It's a program that provides hands-on guidance. So we're trying to map it around and do everything so that there's a little bit more scalability to it. So I mentioned the office hours are going to be starting that up the week of January 8th. So be on the lookout for that. It's a little bit more pliable or flexible for you, so that you come in if you're working on providing a sample or just need a couple of questions answered. We can do that. And then, of course, we're setting up some videos as well. So there's a little more on demand. And then we're still going to do the live. They'll just be less frequent than they were when we first started, to be a little bit more scalable for everybody getting involved. So be on the lookout for that. We're spending some time and doing the setups for that. Now, of course, once you do contribute to the community, you've all seen them, you all want them. Badges. We want to recognize the work that you're doing, and our community recognition program does exactly that. So we're prepping all of our 2024 badges, but that doesn't mean that 2023 is over with. You've got plenty of opportunity to take advantage of all these cool badges that are still available in 2023. So just need to opt in. aka.ms/community/recognition, and we will track your GitHub movements and provide you these badges when you contribute. And by the way, be on the lookout. We're going to start a survey. We're looking for ideas. You all love the program. We would like to know where you might want to see some new badge categories. Keep in mind that we use this to track via GitHub and a variety of other somewhat automated processes so that we can script them. But let us know. We're going to provide that form out in the next few days, and we're looking for ideas from everybody else in the community. Surely you got some amazing ideas, so we want to hear from you. All right, aka.ms/community/recognition. Vesa, back to you in Finland.
Excellent. Thank you, LA and David Warner. Now, I have to call out, you said that, well, we will then track you down in a GitHub, which sounds super terrifying, but that's not what it actually means. So just to clarify that one, you register, we'll put automation in place so we know whenever you contributed in a positive way, that so we can recognize you and provide you the badge, not hunting you down.
Is that what I meant? Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Just that. No, it wasn't creepy at all.
Not creepy. Just super clear. Cool. Anyway, a quick recap on all of the events that are happening next year. So we're looking into having the biggest Microsoft 365 conference to date in April 13th, May 1st and 2nd in 2024. This is done in partnership with Microsoft. So the registration is already open. It's good to know that there's also quite a few different pre-workshop days and the post-workshop days as well. So you have an option of joining 3 different workshop days on to top of the actual conference days, which are happening in Orlando. The event is happening in Orlando in Walt Disney World, so it's a nice, really cool venue, and also to meet up then the Microsoft leaders and executives and Microsoft product engineers and all of that stuff. So looking forward of seeing some of you in Orlando within next year. On top of the Microsoft 365 conference, we also have the 365 EduCon happening next year, which is happening in Seattle, DC, and Dallas, based on June, August, and November dates. Quite a typical dates for 365 EduCon, like within this year, 2023. And on top of these conferences, we also have the communitydays.org listing all of the different individual community-powered conferences across the world. And so there's a lot of different events happening, different areas within the world. Unfortunately, the Nigeria event has already happened. I should have actually removed that from the slide. But we all have Phoenix, Tallinn, Miami, Community Days at Sea as a cruise together with community, where you can go and learn about Microsoft 365 and Power Platform capabilities. All of that is coming up within next year. Thank you, David, for cleaning up the entry in the slide. That is pretty creepy when the slide is moving as you're talking that. But that's
I think
really,
that was
really
actually Copilot, so it is actually working, right?
Yes, it's Copilot. It's a Copilot. It listens what I'm saying and then it adjusts the slides. Really, really cool. So
the future.
The future is here. Now, quickly before we go to the together mode and the actual stars of the day on the demos and showcasing and the Arts of Possible Live, and there was a lot of news, obviously, in Microsoft last week. We can see a bit slowness within the news, which is as expected. We're heading to the holiday season, so we don't have that many new announcements and new things happening from a Microsoft side. Even though there's always new stuff, every single week there's something new within the open source and community, so we will keep on sharing updates in here. I'm not going to mention all of this, and the links are in the chat if you're interested in catching up on what's happening over there. Now, then, before we go to the actual demos of today, let's do a quick crew photo. Zep is a really good example on this slide, how you can do the crew photo. Let me adjust the right screens. It's not pixelated at all today. This looks really, really cool. Everything is super clean. I will not put my camera on. Let's see if I will, because that will probably impact the upstream speed. Let's see. Where is my Camtasia? Dear Camtasia. Camtasia is starting. That's good. So we are ready to go. We're not yet recording. We have 50 seats in the room. And Chris, that's a nice smile in the front row. So thank you for that. Few more seats. Thank you, Chris, on the front row still. And I have no idea what Todd is doing. His cross-country skiing. So let's actually start the recording. Let's do some hand waving. We will grab a GIF animation out of this super crystal clear picture today. This is really cool. I can recognize a lot of familiar faces in here. That's actually awesome. Thank you for waving hands and laughing. Cool. Excellent. Brilliant. That's all enough. And we will grab a GIF animation from there and share that in the social media. Thank you, everybody, for joining on that one. Cool. Then, Chris, I can, by the way, see you there as well. So that's a typical Chris Kent. So that's a good recap over there. Now, let's then go to the actual demos of today. So, well, as said, Sebastian Levert is unfortunately taking care of his kid today. So we're going to start with Shawn Henry, and then we're going to move from Shawn to Alex and me. And Shawn is going to start with Azure Communication Services, and then we transition to the Viva Connection extensibility side. But Shawn, I can see you on the screen. That's
everyone.
good. I can hear you. That's a great start as well. And as you start sharing, don't do PowerPoint live. Unfortunately, PowerPoint line does not work well with the recordings of the screen. So if you can do a full screen sharing, that would be.
We're gonna do full screen because I got some live code I'm gonna show you guys.
Excellent. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
So let's get started here. All right. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you for the intro. Everyone can hear me and see my screen.
Yep,
Hopefully.
all good. Take it away.
Good. Let's go. So my name's Shawn Henry. I'm a program manager on Azure Communication Services. And I'll give you a quick overview of Azure Communication Services, but then we'll dive into the new feature we want to talk about today, which is connectivity into WhatsApp with Azure Communication Services. So Azure Communication Services is a communication platform as a service. So you can imagine, services that send things like SMSs, voice over IP, email, and now WhatsApp. And where you use this really is for where you want to build B2C applications to enable your business to talk to your customers over the communication channels that they prefer. And we build this through an Azure service that is both personalized and proactive. We meet your customers on the channel that they want, the communication of the channel that they want, and allows you to kind of optimize and connect into your workforce by the connectivity that we have from within Azure Communication Services into Teams and the M365 ecosystem. And all this enables you to improve customer satisfaction and customer experiences because they have a delightful experience on their side that is custom, engaged with your brand and your company. And then your business is able to also operate within the M365 ecosystem. So what does this really mean? What do we actually offer? So as a communication platform as a service, we offer core communication services around voice and video over IP. So these are exactly like the meetings that we're having right now over Teams. We use the same infrastructure that powers Teams to deliver white label voice and video calling for meetings and communications, as well as chat, also built over the same infrastructure that powers Teams. So we offer text chat capabilities, and then connectivity from those two capabilities into the traditional telephony systems, both through PSTN, public switch telephone network, phone calls, as well as through SMS. So you can send SMS text messages either through toll-free local numbers or through short codes, which are those 5-digit codes that you often see for authorization and messages like that. We also have email, again, built on our Exchange infrastructure, so you can send transactional email at scale for notifications and messaging through email. We've also just announced a couple weeks ago our public preview advanced messaging. This is our connectivity of those same messaging channels into over-the-top social networks. The first one we're announcing is WhatsApp. So this allows you from Azure APIs, from your Azure Communication Services resource to send messages over WhatsApp through a WhatsApp for Business account. And let's get right into the code. So I'm going to share my screen here. Hopefully you guys can see this. The first thing I want to do is start, right at the beginning. If you're not signed up for Azure, not using Azure, like why not? Go to azure.com, get started. It's free. The first thing you'll see is the Azure portal. And if you want to go create a communication resource, it's as easy as going into create a resource, type communication services, and off you go. You'll see communication services here as something you can create. And it's very simple to set up. No extra details or anything. Very simple resource to set up. I've already created one over here. And once you have that done, you get kind of the usual Azure portal experience with things like access keys and identities and information there. One of the first things you'll probably want to do, not all Azure Communication Services need this, but a lot of them do, they need a phone number. And so this is the phone number pane here. And you'll see I have phone numbers in a bunch of different states, and that's great because I can walk you through what each of those are. When you initially sign up, you can get sometimes only one depending on your account state, but typically you can get up to 5 phone numbers with us. So you can lease these phone numbers. Here I have a bunch of 1-800 numbers, and they cost about $2 a month. It varies a little bit depending on your location. Or you can get a free trial phone number, which allows you for 30 days to have a phone number that you don't pay for, but can only go to verified phone numbers. The other thing I'll mention real quick is there are regulations in the US and Canada. If you're sending SMSs over those numbers, you need to submit a verification document. So you see I've done that for one of these calls here. The rest of them have their verification process that has to be done. I can click here and we'll walk you through the verification process. And that typically takes a few weeks, but you can get started at low bandwidth without doing a verification process. So now that I have a phone number, I'm gonna just show you how to try a couple things here within Azure Communication Services. One is you can quickly just send an SMS message if you want. So I'll show you here. My number's already pre-populated. I'm gonna select one of the numbers and I'll put in a phone number here and we will click send. And oh, I did it. Let's see. Oh no. Give me a second here, and I will get my screen sharing restarted. Of course, aggressive battery saver on the phone decided to stop my screen sharing. We will get back up and running. Here we go. All right. So just to show you that's really working, I'll do both at the same time. Hello by SMS. Here we go. And SMS sent successfully, and there it shows up on my phone. Real quick, we're only 5 minutes in here, and we've already sent our first SMS message. I'll do the same thing with email. We offer email services. If you hadn't hooked this up already, this might say connect a domain here. We support both custom domains, but we'll also give you a domain at azure.com.net so you can get started right away. But you can obviously connect this with, with your own domain. I'll send myself an email here real quick. Hello by email, and we'll hit send. This now queues the email and then sends it out. And so we can send emails then at scale. I also didn't mention over here both SMS and email. If you want to copy this directly into your code, we offer code snippets here directly for all the major Azure languages: C#, JavaScript, Java, Python, or if you just want to call the REST APIs directly. And then we'll see over here. Look, my email showed up. It is 8:22 over here on the West Coast, and my email got sent. No PowerShell. We do have Azure CLI support. We don't show it in here, but if you go to our docs, you can do all this stuff from Azure CLI as well. Okay, now the main event, messaging with WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, we have a neat system here where you point your phone at this QR code, and that will take you into your WhatsApp account on your phone, and you can now send messages to there. You'll type into WhatsApp, just connect with this code, and now we can send templated messages. The way WhatsApp for Business works is your first outgoing message has to be templated, and so you can't just send any message to anyone. And then once a customer replies to you over WhatsApp, you can send any message you want. So we have some sample templates over here. Here's an opt-in template, an appointment reminder. And we can just go ahead and send this, and the template is here, and it gets filled out with this data, and it sends it to us. If you actually want to go ahead and sign up with WhatsApp for Business, you can go and connect your channel over here. I have two channels. We have a bit of bug in the preview that we can't delete channels, so that one was deleted. But I do have one that's working. And then once you've done that, you can go and create templates within your WhatsApp for Business account. That's typically done over in the WhatsApp portal. So here's the tooling that I have over here on facebook.com for creating these templates. You can see here I've created one that's exactly the same as our sample one, where I say, Dear 1 and 2, your next appointment with 3 is scheduled at 4. Press yes to confirm. When you're creating these samples, they'll ask you to provide sample data, and this then goes through a review process to make sure it's appropriate for the WhatsApp for Business platform. So here I would have added, here I'm in the edit view. When I first sent this, I added sample text in here, and then went and got it approved. So now that we have our templates created, we can hop over into code. So here I am in Visual Studio Code. In this case, I created an Azure function in C#. This is a basic HTTP triggered function. If you go through the tutorial process for creating a basic HTTP trigger, this is basically what you'll get. The only thing I've added is I've added references to Azure. Azure Communication.Messages. This is our SDK from Azure Communication Services for connecting to WhatsApp. and then JSON, of course, which everyone needs. Other than that, this is all the same kind of templated code. I pull out here, it's a post request for this Azure function. So it's a REST API with a post request where I pull out a phone number. So the JSON that's sent to this post request has the phone number that I want to send the message to. I check if it's actually there. I pull out my Azure Communication Services connection string. This I got from the portal. If you go back to the portal, there's a key section. You can pull your string out from there. And then I start interacting with our SDK. I create our notification messaging client. This is our SDK that sits on top of those REST APIs in C#. I put in my connection string. I create my recipient list, which in this case is just one phone number. I pull out that template. This is the same template name I created earlier. This can be anything. I did it in English. And then I provide values for that template. So again, I'm using the same values here as we did this in the sample. I'm not very original. We add those to a values list and then a bindings list, and then ultimately create a message template with the name of the template, the language, the values that are up here, and then the bindings between those values and the keys in the template. This is the messaging channel that I created. WhatsApp for Business will give this to you when you create the channel. You can also get this from the portal. And then I send the messages. So I already have this running, this function running. So to save us a little bit of time, I already got it running here. And so we can go over into my Azure workspaces here with the Azure plugin for Visual Studio Code. I'll execute the function now. I said it was the phone number I need to put in. Make sure we get that right. And we'll put in the phone number I had before, which is here, and we'll hit enter. And here we go. There we go. So it showed up. This is from a different phone number. It's not from that test phone number. I'll just do that again so you can make sure you guys see it. One last time. Execute the function. Phone number. And we'll send. There it is, showed up again. Great, and executed the function. If you want to receive messages, you can do the same thing with an Azure function, but you would use Event Grid. So we'll send Event Grid messages whenever a message is received to this phone number, and you can pull those in also with Azure functions. Or you can connect them to low code, via Power Apps or Logic Apps. That will pop back over here. Oh, that worked. We'll start over here. So to wrap up, you can check out our Learn documentation at aka.ms/acs-WhatsApp. We have a great mechanics video that I just want to shout out to as well. If you go check that out on YouTube, that's a YouTube video that has a lot more really advanced scenarios for Azure Communication Services and connecting it to intelligence, to things like Azure OpenAI and Azure AI Speech. And then we have full code that backs up that sample as well. Our docs in general are at acs.docs. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. There's my contact information. I can help out or put you in touch with someone who can. All right. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Shawn. Really, really cool stuff. It is so incredibly easy to do that stuff nowadays. So it's awesome to see the innovation on this side. So super, super powerful technology. Good. Thank you, Shawn, on that one. So let's actually move on to the next stage of the call. Let's see how long we'll take with Alex. On this one, we do have some flexibility, but hey, it might be that we'll stop a bit early today because, again, Sebastian could not take his demo slot today. So let's see how it goes. Now, in our case, we wanted to talk about the introduction of what framework-powered Viva Connection ACs. And what I wanted to do is first quickly explain a recap of what the Viva Connection is all about and how it actually works and what are the extensibility options, and then and what is the bot-powered ACs all about. So why are we introducing this option versus the SharePoint framework-powered ACs option and what you can do with this. And then Alex is going to do the live demo on how that works in practice within the Viva Connection. Now, the Viva Connection is the employee experiences, daily employee experiences designed really for frontline and desktop workers, frontline workers and desktop workers. So depending on which device you're using, the Viva Connection adapts on the device, and it's really targeted for corporate communication. So you can easily access your day-to-day applications and apps and tools, regardless of the device what you're using. You can access easily your company resources, and all of this can be personalized. So you can build your own dashboards, based on the role, based on the user, based on the organization where people are. So that's kind of the main idea of the Viva connection. As said, it actually have three different shapes, so to say. So it has the desktop experiences, it has the tablet experiences, and mobile. We're right now in progress of rolling out the V3 version of the desktop experiences. So there are certain changes related on these pictures. So it's not precisely like it is in here, but it's pretty much still in here. And all of this is extensible. So if you're an ISV or a partner or a customer, you can design your own cards and extensibility in here, from where you can redirect the user, for example, to all of the common applications, your, let's say, your salary reports, your latest news, your whatever is the relevant for the employee. And really the key point here is that this is really targeted for across the devices. So if you have frontline workers, for example, in the transport, for example, let's say bus drivers or nurses in hospital, they don't sit in the front of the desktop, but they can still be connected to your company using the mobile experiences and stay up to date and access the relevant tools and resources what your company is providing through the different experiences what we're having here. Now, what I wanted to also quickly kind of a recap is common use cases the customers and partners are building. So of course, for employee tools and apps, classical examples will be pay stub and benefits. For example, in Microsoft, I can go and double check my pay stub details using the Viva connection within the Microsoft own Viva connection installation. IT supports time of request, travel and expenses, weather and stock vesting information, data insights and analytics, and well-being and wellness. So having a one location where the employee tools and HR access information is available. Frontline workers, shift management, task sign-off, approvals, time management, on-site virtual appointments, inventory overviews, all of that stuff can be really considered as a great examples for frontline worker scenarios, which are accessed then using the mobile UI. All of the career growth, learning and development, work anniversaries, birthdays, all of that stuff, typical examples as well, what people are using within their Viva Connection dashboard. So as you are, for example, commuting to your work, you can just quickly open up the Microsoft Teams and then access the Viva Connection dashboard and get access on the relevant information directly within your mobile phone as an example scenario. And of course, communication and engage, big part of this is corporate communications, making sure that your employees can easily access the relevant company news and announcements depending on their role and depending on the organization. So everything can be personalized as well. And of course, this integrates with the messaging and notifications within the Microsoft Teams. So whenever there's news announcements or if that's happening, employees will get notified on that as well. Now, Viva Connection does provide different extensibility options, which we're kind of covering here. The two different main options is either using the SharePoint framework, which is a web stack development tooling for build extensibility for Microsoft 365, and you build ACEs, as in adaptive card extensions, using the SharePoint framework. And from those ACEs, you can then deep link to the teams. Now, some of our partners, however, were saying that, well, we do have already bot framework powered bots in the Microsoft Teams. And as Viva Connection cards are actually adaptive cards, why couldn't we use bot framework to actually provide those adaptive card experiences within the Viva Connection? And that's what the bot framework part ACES is all about. So for those partners who already have Microsoft Teams extensibility built using the Microsoft Teams bot framework, their existing investments, they can actually now extend those bot framework elements to power Viva Connection experiences as well. So that bot framework installation can be extended with additional things, which Alex is going to show, then to feed or respond the dashboard those experiences. And that's actually really, really cool. So you can use your existing investments depending on which side you're coming. If you're coming from SharePoint framework side, same tooling, same extensibility, which works in Teams, SharePoint, Outlook, and Microsoft 365 can be used for Viva Connection. If you have already existing investments in the Microsoft Teams in the form of bot framework, you can extend that to also be part of the Viva Connection experience. Underneath, of course, we're accessing Microsoft Graph APIs, all of that like typically within the Microsoft 365. So as said, really the idea here is that if you have an existing bot framework powered experience, as a chat within the Microsoft Teams. Now the same bot can be extended to actually feed those cards and quick views and react on end user operations directly within the Viva Connection dashboard in the desktop or in the mobile or in the tablet experiences. But to show this in practice, let's actually move into Alex's screen. Alex has prepared us a demo to how to get started on implementing bot-powered Viva Connection experiences and how they work in practice. And we can see Alex's screen and audio is fine.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll show the quick demo, which is like dev demo, so no actual like use case or scenario, but still. So here I'm on the dashboard, and let's actually add a new bot ACE here just to show you that everything is working like expected, like with the SharePoint framework cases. So I have a bot ACE in here. Hopefully it's working and the Azure site is on. So as usual, I'm just adding the ACE in here to my dashboard. All the operations that you are expecting are working fine and powered by the bot instead of SharePoint framework code. So I can change some properties for my card, like community demo, some primary text. I click apply, all the information goes to the bot. Bot replies back that, hey, everything is fine. Let's apply these properties. If I publish it, you can see like you can use quick views, you can use actions where you have like new features in your card, and I'll show you in the code how it's done. But basically, same as for any SharePoint framework card, you have the same functionality basically, but that is powered by the bot. So how it's done from technical perspective? First of all, right now, to make it happen, you should, as always, upload the solution to your SharePoint app catalog. And actually, this is not a SharePoint framework solution. It's a Teams solution. So it's a zip archive that you usually can upload to the Teams, and because of that, it's much easier for existing kind of developers, ISVs who already have bots in Teams. It's basically the same package that you can apply, deploy to the SharePoint app catalog. Same for the bot registration. So as usual, the bot is registered as a bot service in the Azure. The only change you should do to make your bot work in Viva Connections, you should add Microsoft 365 channel. So for Teams, we are using Microsoft Teams channel, and for SharePoint framework, not SharePoint framework, but for Viva Connections and for SharePoint, we are using Microsoft 365 channel. So this is the only change you need to do to allow your bot work in Viva Connections. Now let's go to the code. And first thing, as I mentioned, you need to deploy the Teams app to your SharePoint app catalog. So it's a similar thing as we had before for Microsoft Teams. The only difference now in the manifest.json, we have new options for dashboard cards, where you actually providing information about your ACE. And here you basically have display name, description, icon. This is what you will see in the picker in your Viva Connections dashboard. And then for the content source, you are using the bot ID, which is usually the same bot that you have in your existing Teams app. And that's how we communicate with the bot that you developed. And good thing here, technically, you can have multiple cards at the same time. So if for some reason you have multiple scenarios that are powered by the same bot, you can provide multiple dashboard cards in the manifest. Now let's go to the code. So from code perspective, we provide SharePoint activity handler. Again, it's pretty similar to messaging extensions handler and all the goodness that Teams provide. This class is part of bot framework itself. So if you go to NuGet package manager for .NET and install the latest version of bot builder, or the same is true for Node.js if you install the latest version from npm.js.org, you will see the SharePoint activity handler class that you should extend, and you can override 4 methods in here to basically communicate with our core, with Viva Connections. The first method is on SharePoint task get card view. Basically, this one describes the response when we want to display the card view on the dashboard for the first time. So basically, when you add a new card to the dashboard, you will see we are sending this request to the bot, and it's up to you how to respond to it. I'll show a quick example of the code here. By the way, all the types, all the functionality is provided as part of bot schema as well. So all the types, all the code is strongly typed, both for Node.js and .NET. And the classes are really the same as you would expect from SharePoint framework. So when we are preparing the card view, for example, we have primary text card, we have card view parameters inside, where you're just describing how you want your card bar to look, that you want to have card text component inside, like a primary text or heading. You have functionality to add buttons in your footer, etc., etc. And again, you can provide different actions. It can be quick view actions, it can be submit action, upload media, etc., etc. So all the actions that are available for SharePoint framework power cases, they are available for bot power cases as well. So as mentioned, the first method to override is get card view for the card view. Same for get quick view. When on the client side we see that the quick view action is executed by a user, we will send request to get card view adaptive card markup that is completely extensible. You can provide any information in there as you want. Another one is get property pane configuration. This is basically how we configure the property pane when in edit mode. So again, it's not like some manifest thing or some hard-coded thing for the bot ACES. You can actually provide all the properties for the property pane as well. And again, the types are the same as you would expect from SharePoint framework. So we have property pane page, property pane group, and all the fields like property pane text field, choices, drop downs, etc., etc. Everything is available for bot powered ACES as well. The next one is set property pane configuration. This is when the user clicks apply in the property pane and you want to handle this as well to, for example, store it somehow, or maybe you want to update the view of the card. You can handle this as well. And the last one is handle action. This will be called for any submit, execute, etc., etc. All these actions that are executed by the user either through buttons or selecting something on the card view itself. And from the code perspective, one more thing I want to show is the definitions for the ACE request. So in the ACE request, you have data that will be specific for different types of actions. So for example, for quick view, you will be getting the ID of the view that was part of the action. So in that case, you can have different quick views for different actions or for different card views that are currently displayed. And in the properties property of the request, you will be always getting the configured properties from the property pane. So in that case, your bot can be kind of stateless, so you don't need to store all the properties in some, I don't know, cache on the backend. Instead of that, you'll be getting all the properties as part of the request. And Yeah, so basically that's all from technical perspective, from implementation perspective. You just need to extend one single class. You should, or not should, you can implement 5 methods for different types of actions that will be sending to the bot. And that's basically it. But one more thing that I want to show, that, as mentioned, we are trying to simplify development when you already have investments in your Teams bots and you want to provide the same for the Viva Connections. And usually it's hard to deal with different admins. So first you need to go to Teams admin and tell like, hey, you need to upload my LOB application, for example, or ISV application in the Teams app catalog. Then you need to go to SharePoint admin and do the same to make the application available in SharePoint. So we are aligning all that in one place, and this is still in preview, so don't try to use it at home. And anyway, even if you upload the app here, you will not see it in the dashboard yet. But I can basically use the same bot archive I used in the SharePoint app catalog. I will open it. The new app is added, and I actually can go here. I have my Teams bot applied and working in Teams. So, for example, if I have some static tabs, personal apps in there, or actual bot, it will work in the Teams. And when we are ready for our GA, somewhere in the next year, the same app package will be available in SharePoint and in Viva Connections. So basically, you will not need to go to the SharePoint admin and upload the same package. If the package is deployed to Teams app catalog and later in the Teams store, it will be available in Viva Connections. And I believe that's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you, Alex, on that one. Let me move in here. So just as Alex called out, so this is now coming pretty soon in preview. There's not yet tutorials available for you to get started, but we're super close on that. We're trying to get it in preview by end of this calendar year as a public preview. And for now, we'll call out all of that steps to get started in the documentation. Paolo Pialorsi, by the way, will do a Getting Started session on Thursday this week related on this setup as well and how to use Graph APIs and all of that within the bot-powered Viva Connection ACs. So some additional content there. Now, if you're looking into getting started on or understanding what the Viva Connection is all about, here's the assets what we have available right now. Just to call out, we do not have yet tutorial documentation on the bot-powered ACs. All of that will be included in the Viva Connection documentation as it will be available for you. So we're super close. Technical situation is ready. We just need to get the documentations and guidance available for you so that we don't need to answer all of the questions in the issue list. So that questions will be answered in the documentation. That's now the delay. But that's pretty much it. So here's the resources. Thank you, David, on copy pasting those in the chat as well for you to get started if you're looking into doing building stuff in the Viva Connection. Just to call out here as well, the bigger picture in the screen is actually showing the Viva Connection version 3.0 experience, which is a bit more modified and it has additional capabilities like a hero section, announcements, and all of that stuff. All of this can be also personalized, and you can build those dedicated extensibilities using the dashboard cards within the Viva Connection side. Cool. We are closing a bit early today, which is great. So we're saving everybody's time a bit, which is always a great option. So thank you, Shawn, for the great demo related on the Azure Communication Services. It is incredibly powerful. We'll talk about more on that one also next week. where we have another demo on platform. I'll come back on that one in a second. And thank you, Alex, on helping on the introduction on the bot framework powered Viva Connection ACEs. Really, really cool demo as well. Sebastian Levert will be covering the V4 on Microsoft Graph Toolkit within January. We will get that one scheduled. Next week, Milan Kar is going to talk about sending WhatsApp messages with Azure Communication Services using Power Automate. So the Azure Communication Services capabilities actually have an integration also with Power Automate. So you can do really cool and powerful scenarios with ACS within your Microsoft 365 extensibility. And then I will talk about a bit more about the Viva Connection extensibility. So next week we'll show an introduction to new Viva Connection card designer capabilities with API support. So we're rolling out right now documentation, videos, and guidance and all of that, which will be available by next week on how you can actually use the card designer capability within the Viva Connection as a no-code option to hit Microsoft Graph APIs. So that is a really powerful feature. So you don't need to write any more code to be able to access Microsoft Graph API information within the Viva Connection. Really cool scenario, and more details on that one next week. That's it for the setup. If you have any questions between the calls and all of that stuff, please join on our Discord server. We have broken now the 1,000 attendees on the server, on the Discord server around Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community. Really great resource for you to take advantage and helping others. And if you have questions, you can use that as well. So a lot of other community members within that Discord servers helping with the questions and sharing what they built within the Microsoft Cloud. We're always looking for feedback as well. So we do want to understand what works within this course and what does not work. So please do fill in this form. That will help us on justifying the existence of this course and also in the future. Not that we're planning to stop, not at all, but it's always helps on showcasing the power and the value of this course for our leadership. That's always important in our side as well. The recording of this call will be available in 24 hours in the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community YouTube channel. You'll find that from aka.ms community and videos. We will always update on the new videos also in the Twitter and in LinkedIn. So that's the easiest way to also stay up to date on when the recordings are available. When the recording is stopped within this Teams channel, it will basically say, hey, here's a recording in the Teams chat. You cannot access that as a non-Microsoft account. So that does not work for external accounts. So therefore, it will be available in YouTube. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Easiest way to know whenever there's new content available over there. The next call is in December 19th. And after that, we'll have the 2 weeks off. So we will not have the calls on 26th. And let me confirm the 26th of December is not an active call, and 2nd of January, we will not have a call. We'll probably be still online, and just to show you that the call is not happening. So if you drop by, we'll be here, but that doesn't mean that we're actually presenting anything. We can, of course, have a chat, but that's a separate discussion. All of our community calls available at aka.ms community /calls. Take advantage of those. But that's it for now. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for the great demos, Alex and Shawn. And we'll be back later this week with other community calls. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe, and let's stay in touch. Bye-bye.